So it's been about a month since I started using manual lenses with my Sony for both photography and videography, and since my announcement video, I was met with a lot of positive responses and excitement. However, I've also gotten questions wondering if I made a mistake. Do I regret switching to manual lenses? The answer is no. However, there are a few minor inconveniences since the switch, so in this video, I want to share with you my pros and cons using manual lenses, my specific experiences using Leica lenses on Sony bodies, as well as my future with manual lenses moving forward. And shoutouts to PPA for sponsoring a portion of this video. So let's talk benefits first, right? Why use manual lenses in the age of autofocus lenses, especially when autofocus on these cameras have gotten so damn good? Now, the biggest reason why I considered adding manual lenses to my workflow is because they are way lighter and way smaller. You can pick up an f1.4 lens and it would be teeny tiny, which is insanely beneficial during our year now as digital nomads. We're traveling around a lot, the less weight off my back, the better. Your boy is getting older, alright? His back is giving out on him, so go easy on me, alright? Now, depending on the manual lenses that you want to invest in, you can probably find a lot that are inexpensive and have very unique characteristics, especially some of the vintage stuff. I decided to go big on the Leica and ZEISS lenses because Vivian just recently picked up the Leica M6 and we borrowed a few M mount lenses to try. But after our trip here in Singapore, we will be exploring other manual offerings, particularly some of the vintage ones, and adapted to our Sony bodies. So if you got some recommendations, drop them right down below. And again, we'll talk more about our specific experiences with the Leica lenses towards the end of the video. Moving on to our next talking point, manual lenses really slows you down, and that's a good and a bad thing. So the good thing is, I'm taking my time to focus, composing my shot, enjoying the moment, taking in that fresh air, double checking my framing before committing that click. It makes me, enjoy the photography process a lot more. Like, it makes me more cultured, appreciating the more finer things in life. Like, yeah, I took that. That's art right there. Okay, I didn't turn that snobby, alright? But this enjoyment of the process is hugely inspired by Professor Hines in our ultimate guide to street photography video, where he shared his experience on manual lenses. And he got a bunch of killer shots in that video with the ZEISS Loxia manual lenses. So go check it out if you haven't already yet. It's an hour-long free course. That's right, it's free. The best street photography guide on YouTube, I guarantee it. But unfortunately, this whole slowing down thing, enjoying the moment, does not apply to video. Especially if we need to be shooting something quick for the YouTube channel. I'm not using manual lenses. So we were using the Voigtlander 50mm f1.2 to shoot our Xperia 1 Mark IV video earlier this month. Fantastic lens, but it really slowed us down, and not in a good way. Typically, we're very run and gun. We try not to spend too much time getting the shot so we can move on to the next location because, deadlines. Especially with the humidity in Singapore, yeah. Don't want to be spending so much time manual focusing in direct sunlight for too long. We're sticking with autofocus for video. Sorry, folks. Moving on to number 3. Now, in the previous video, a lot of commenters expressed that they love using manual focus lenses with digital cameras because it makes achieving focus a lot easier. It's absolutely game changer, especially for those who went through the film and manual era. And I don't blame them. We now get clear confirmation if we're in focus or not with the focus magnifier feature and the higher quality LCD displays. Especially when you're shooting as wide as f1.4, it's hard to nail focus manually. But because we have digital cameras, we can freely snap off a couple of shots without worrying about wasting film and wondering if we got the shot in focus. Now, I know it's something that I'll get used to eventually, but I always find that I'm second guessing myself when it comes to focus. Even if I'm shooting at f8, I would still always focus magnify to ensure that I'm in focus. And I'm not used to using the markings on the lens to tell my focus distance quite yet. Vivian, on the other hand, has gotten really good at that. It's been a few months already for her, so she's an expert at it.
I think I just shot all my last shots with the lens cap on.
Okay, maybe not quite the expert yet. Alright, I want to take a quick break to thank PPA for sponsoring a portion of this video. They are a fantastic resource for photographers who want to get better at what they do and running a photography business. And this month, they wanted me to remind you about their indemnification trusts. This is specifically designed for photographers as it helps cover data loss recovery services as well as legal fees for when you have unhappy clients. Data loss is no joke, it sucks, so always have double, quadruple backups for all your professional shoots. But the worst can always happen, and when it does, all you have to do is file a claim and bam! PPA will be there for you. From giving advice when these troubles come up to helping offset any potential costs and even intervening if it comes down to handling unhappy clients. To find out more, check out the link in the description box below and use that same link for $25 off your PPA membership when you sign up. Thanks for listening, now back to the video. Moving on to my issues with metadata. Now, unfortunately, depending on the individual manual lenses, some will not be able to send metadata to your image files. So when you open them up in photo editing softwares like Lightroom, it will not show the lens model nor the aperture value that you shot at. Now, it might not be a big deal to most folks, but for a YouTube channel like mine, since I focus so much on photography, there are a lot of shots that I don't remember what f-stop I've used, so sometimes you'll see question marks next to the aperture value. Number 4. I don't think you want to hear this, but fast aperture and bokeh isn't everything. In using these manual lenses, I am learning to enjoy shooting more at f8. I used to be so adverse to it, especially with the autofocus lenses, but with manual, it's just easier and a safer bet. For one, I know for a fact that I have a higher chance of being in focus. And 2, I myself is more focused on the entire scene rather than that one particular subject in the frame. I am way more conscious of my framing, composition, and subject, so because of that, I'm comfortable stopping down that high. And I'm also not afraid to use f8 in low light. If anything, it just forces me to be more creative. I just open up on my shutter speed by slowing it down more and started playing with the motion and blur. And it's been real fun. Are some of these good shots? Well, that's debatable, but I'm having fun with it. Moving on to number 5, just really quickly want to talk about the minimum focusing distance. I'm not sure if it's these particular ZEISS or Leica lenses, but I do find that I have to be kind of far back just to get the shot in focus, and that's particularly challenging, especially when you come from lenses that can focus pretty closely to an object, but again, it's just something that I think I have to get used to. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about these Leica lenses. Woo! My God, the straight out of camera colors are amazing. And I've also used it with the Sony Vivid Color Profile. It's in every Sony camera, I believe. And it just makes a lot of these images pop. A lot of these photos here, I didn't even have to edit because they already do such a good job. The way that the Leica lenses render the images, it's hard to describe, but it can be felt. It just looks so much more clear. Like these cityscape shots here, man, these lenses make them look like toy towns, perfectly built Lego pieces. Or Mega Blocks, whatever your kids prefer. The shadows and the highlights are just handled so well, made some of these shots here feel like I'm a pro street photographer, particularly that 28mm. Now, I'm not a fan of 28mm on a zoom lens, but as a prime lens for street, oh yeah, we're on to something here. Now, a few people left a comment in the previous video asking why bother using such expensive lenses. Well, the answer to that is I have the opportunity to, so why not? Because yeah, the price is off-putting for a lot of folks and it really prevents them from even trying it. Like, I too am curious, why are Leica lenses so expensive? But I have a chance to try them and I want to share my experience on them. As a reviewer, sometimes I have to check out to something that's different so I can get a different perspective. That way I can have a better assessment for the main things that I review. So the question is, are Leica lenses worth it? I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. Probably not because it's not native to Sony. All I can say is, yeah, the colors are flippin' amazing, incredibly sharp, very nice handling. But at the end of the day, it depends on the individual. What is their workflow and what is their photographic enjoyment? So in my specific case, Vivian already has a Leica, and if I can adapt one of her lenses and save myself from bringing a similar focal length, why not, right? We'll likely invest in one of these Leica lenses here, possibly the 28mm because we really enjoy using it. And maybe we'll pick up some more along the way in the future, but as with anything, the travel experience is far more important to us. It doesn't matter what gear we use, but if it makes sense to us and it makes us feel a certain way, we'll definitely pick it up. So moving forward, we want to try more manual lenses outside of ZEISS, outside of Leica, particularly some of the ones that you guys will be recommending to us. And who knows, we might have dedicated reviews for manual lenses on this channel to go alongside the autofocus ones that we already do. And now that we're incorporating manual focus lenses into our kit, we're gonna have to redefine ourselves as hybrid shooters. Like, yes, sure, we shoot both photos and videos, that's why we're hybrid shooters, but we are now also hybrid in a sense that we will be using both autofocus lenses and manual focus lenses. So that's cool, that's interesting, right? Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.